All right, I'm back.
One bag of gold medal pan me now.
Yep, that's me. My name is Rome, and this is the Fort Official. Let's go.
So, well, people, it's your boy Rome. Welcome to the Fourth Official. Same channel, new direction. Um, Finally get the opportunity to kickstart it in the right way. So, welcome to my dungeon. This is my man cave. Um, Basically, what we'll be talking about is the biggest league in the world. We'll be focused on the biggest league in the world, focused on the biggest club in the world, while still, dabbling here or there in the rest of the league. We're talking about the Premier League, the English Premier League, Manchester United. Yeah. We'll be talking about the other games, talking about the other teams, how Manchester United is faring amongst those rivals right now, and what we can do in the future. And hopefully, we have nothing but good things to report or talk about the rest of the season and onwards. So yeah, thank you for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel and grow it as much so we can get reviews be heard. From a Jamaican living in America, call me a Jamerican. Yeah, I'm well aware that we live in a country where they call football soccer. Don't make sense, but hey. But we're gonna talk about football. We're gonna talk about the game, and we're gonna make reviews be heard. You understand? All right. So again, like, subscribe, comment if you need to. Let's have a chat. Yeah. So what are we gonna talk about? International football. And I know you've heard this before, but international football don't make sense. There's no sense about international football. In this current climate, in this current COVID climate, there's no sense for international football. But hey, we have it, so we might as well roll with it. I think the only big story coming out of this couple of weeks that we're gonna have right now of international football is that one, Scotland and Wales have to big them up, son. It's been a minute, years and years before since they made a major championship. So they made the Euros, qualifying for the Euros. Wales, Scotland, big up yourself. We're gonna get to see Gareth Bale. We didn't get to see Ryan Giggs, to me, one of the biggest and most decorated footballers of all times, playing a major tournament for his country. So big up yourself, Gareth Bale. Scotland as well. You can watch Mark Sauce, Scott McTominay out there in the Euro. So looking forward to that. Let's also talk about Manchester United players. Yeah, so we're gonna focus on 3 players today. Pogba, Martial, and Telles. And this international break thing that's been going on. So first game Pogba played wasn't much to speak about, was it? I don't know if it was because there wasn't the right players around him, because he looked totally different in the second game that they played yesterday, when he had on one side Kante was there, which was Kante is a different type of beast, isn't it? Kante was up on the top of the field, playing that real box-to-box type of midfield, and that's what Pogba needs next to him. So I guess, with Pogba having such a bad game in the first one, coming having a decent type solid game against Portugal, one could only hope that this form could carry over into Manchester United, knowing that he probably will leave at the end of the season. I just want to make sure that he gives his best, because, whether he stays or goes is not my choice. I just want to make sure that Manchester United is playing well and winning. Rabiot was right next to him in the game, and Rabiot was really, really something else. He was a main reason for that goal. So I'm hoping Pogba comes out of this couple of weeks with some decent form, a whole more games under his belt to regain his fitness. Another one that I had my eye out on was Martial. No, Martial had like 3 or 4 chances in the game that he should have scored. Some of them were some wonderful goalkeeping, and the other one that he headed on the post should have scored. But the plus side is he's been playing on and off in the past 3 or 4 weeks because of the suspension, and the fact that he's getting into these positions and doing what he needs to do to get to that side shows that he still has the quality as a number 9, and he's still my striker. So AM9, my guy. Remember that. Anyway, and the last one I want to talk about today is Alex Telles. And earlier I mentioned the international break really don't make sense, right? And one of the reasons why it don't make sense is that Alex Telles signed for Manchester United, play one game against Paris, right? But before he played that game against Paris, he just come back from international break. So maybe the test of them do them never catch the virus at that time, but immediately after the break, after the game, he catch virus. All right, boom, and test positive for the virus, out for 2 to 3 weeks. As soon as him come back, as soon as he's back from testing negative 2-3 times, goes to training with Manchester United, he's off again with the national team. Alex Telles hasn't played in 3 weeks, yet he's been called up for the national team. The last game when he played came on the 94th minute. The 94th minute. You don't need man to come on for the 94th minute, but they still ride him on. They don't need to call him up. Now we're hearing that, oh, well, Uruguay is not allowing him into the country because he had the virus within the last 2 months. And then we're hearing that someone else on this team just had the virus. So there's still a slight chance that man could get the virus. I'm worried about this because Luke Shaw is injured. And we need man to start swinging crosses across. As you see that left foot that Yo has, we need him to start swinging those crosses. The other thing we want to talk about, fantasy football. Now, I have my fantasy team. My fantasy team is ready and good to go. That's my fantasy team. Looking forward to switching it up, changing a few things every week, but I'm feeling confident about this team. Don't know what a couple of weeks might look like. However, my thing about fantasy football, the Premier League fantasy football, is that whenever Manchester United have a bad weekend, everything just get freaked for me. If we lose, like the weekend when we lose against Tottenham, people hear from me for like 2 weeks and I couldn't recover, blood. Couldn't recover. So I don't know. It's gonna be rough. I'm gonna do my best to keep up and share my fantasy football with you guys. And hopefully, you guys we can grow, and we can share our fantasy football and share different leagues, etc. Let's talk about Liverpool for a minute. Just for a second, let's talk about Liverpool and what they're gonna go through. All right, they're going through right now, basically. Liverpool entire backline injured. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think I'm Tygan or something. We all know about Van Dijk. We have Pickford for thank for that. We know about Joe Gomez. That man there, England training a jag and mash up in foot. I don't know how, but in tier like 4 at ACLs. Don't ask me why, bro. Who else? And Robertson. Today we heard that Robertson is no longer part of the Scottish team because it tear hamstring. That's got to be fun. Liverpool fans probably sit on there like, don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But, I mean, I'm not one to laugh at someone else's injury, but let's be honest, they're not dead. They're just injured. Van Dijk might be off the rest of the season, so is Joe Gomez. I don't care. I don't support Liverpool. Fabinho, who's typically step back in the defense to cover, I heard he's injured as well. Salah just get caught COVID, so he's out. Sorry for your money, but you have to go pass the ball to yourself. Speaking of money, he's on my fantasy team as well. So, hey, give me 1 or 2 goal, man, do. What's the most exciting games this weekend for the Prem? Let's take a look to see what games we have going on this coming weekend in the Prem. Chelsea and Newcastle, Aston Villa, Brighton, Tottenham and City at a Saturday. So Tottenham and Manchester City. That's going to be a nice game. Looking forward to that. And then Manchester United have West Brom. West Brom seems like they have a little bit of thing to them. They have 2 skillful forward players. Can't remember their name right now, but West Brom have a little zest to them, so we have to be careful about that. But the City-Tottenham game is going to be interesting because I don't want Tottenham to get too ahead of themselves thinking they can win the league. After them beat, we kind of have a... Last year I was kind of indifferent with Tottenham. Now I kind of just don't like them because they beat with away there. So, because of the defeat to Tottenham, I am not really looking forward to seeing them get any more points. City, I don't mind City beating them at this point because City is basically in the same position we are, 1 game in hand. So the more the guys are way ahead of us can lose, the better. So I'm looking forward to that one. On the next day, which is Sunday, Everton, Fulham, Leeds, Arsenal. That's going to be a nice one. Think about it, if Leeds beat Arsenal. The freaking fans are going to flip out. I love it. And then Liverpool and City and Leicester City. Now, if Liverpool already has a backline that's struggling, and then you got Jamie Vardy, Barnes, and all of them running at them, that's going to be a great game too. So we will be focused on the Tottenham game, Tottenham, Man City, Arsenal, Leeds, Liverpool, Leicester, and of course Manchester United games. So we'll focus on this coming weekend. So Sunday we'll be back again talking about this thing. Let's get after it. Again, we're back. We're focusing on the Prem. We might touch the other leagues in Europe, even though they don't make sense. Yeah, we might touch the Real Madrid and Barcelona league. We might touch the Bayern Munich league, and yes, we might touch the Juventus league, but we will not. And I repeat, we will not touch the French league. We're not watching the Farmers League. It's not happening. Not only is because of just PSG playing in the league, but fuck Di Maria. Point blank. Straight. Real Manchester United fans know what I mean when I say fuck Di Maria. That's it. That's the whole point. Anyway, bless up yourself. Again, Manchester United, we're talking about the Prem. This is the new revamp, the fourth official. We have a whole lot more things coming right here in a little dungeon. Again, subscribe, like, let's go.